We are down to the final two videos. This is going to be a special right triangle review. I know Miss Butcher's class has talked about this a little bit. I know we've kind of brushed on it in my class, but not really. So let's go forward with the second to the last video. I did not realize that last night's video was also audio off. I just looked up updates and Explain Everything did an update on Friday at midnight. And the two videos that I made before the update are fine. The two videos since have been, obviously the voice has been way ahead. So I have an email into them. We'll see if it fixed. I think it has something to do with them changing the resolution that they compact to, and that you can compress videos or something. So I'm working on it. I'm apologizing. Okay, so the first special right triangle is a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. And since it's 45, 45, I know that this is an isosceles triangle. So let's just say this side is 2, this side is 2. If I solved for x, I would get 2 squared plus 2 squared equals x squared. That's going to be 8 equals x squared. If I rationalize that, it's going to be 2 root 2. No matter what number I put in here, if I put 3 in here, this is going to be 3 root 2. So the relationship that a 45, 45, 90 triangle is in is x, x, x root 2. A lot of people use 1, 1, and 1 root 2. Let's look at two quick examples. Teachers all teach this differently. I'm going to show you how I teach it. You might have been taught it differently in geometry last year. Do whatever you are comfortable with. So I know that these are 45, 45, 90 triangles because either the sides will be marked or the angles will be marked. And if those angles are congruent, then the sides are congruent. And in a 90, a right triangle, if these two angles are congruent, then they have to each be equal, which would make them 45, and vice versa. Okay, so what I said before was the relationship x, x, and x root 2. I like to use 1, 1, 1, and root 2. And what I know is this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And this side that I'm given is opposite of 45. So I'm going to put it under one of the ones. And the side I'm looking for is the hypotenuse, so I'm going to put that under the side opposite the 90. And all I'm going to do is ignore this and cross multiply. So I'm going to get x equals radical 3 times radical 2. Remember, I can multiply underneath the radical and I can multiply outside the radical, but the outside cannot talk to the inside. So this would simply be radical 6. Over here, 45, 45, 90 with a hypotenuse of 5, I'm going to do the same thing. 1, 1, and root 2. I know the 5 is across from the 90, so this would be the 5. This is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And what I'm looking for is x, a side opposite the 45. And again, I'm going to cross multiply. So I get x root 2 equals 5. I'm going to divide by root 2. And I need to rationalize. So x is going to be 5 root 2 over 2. So these sides would be 5 root 2 over 2. And since it's a 45, 45, both sides will be the same thing. The second special right triangle is a 30, 60, 90, and without going through the whole discovery that you probably did in geometry last year, these sides are in relation 1 to root 3 to 2, 30, 60, 90, or x to x root 3 to 2x. So this would be 1, this would be root 3, and this is 2. So let's take an example. Let's do an easy one, 30, 60, and I tell you that the 30 side is 2. So I have 1, root 3, and 2. If the 30 side is 2, I'm going to easily find this one. Okay, so I'm going to find the side opposite the 90, so I'm going to ignore this. I'm going to make an equal sign here and cross multiply, and I get x equals 4. So the side opposite the 90 is 4. I can now do Pythag if I want, but I'm not going to do that. An easier way to do this, just so you know, is if I'm given the side opposite the 30, that is x, which means that the side opposite the 60 is x radical 3, so 2 radical 3, and the side opposite the 90 is 2 times x, which would be 2 times 2 or 4. Let's say I'm given this. I know that I have a 30, 60, 90 because this angle would have to be 60. Subtract everything from 180. I know a 30, 60, 90 is in relation 1, radical 3, 2. And I currently have the side opposite the 60. That would be this side, and I'm going to put a 5 there. If I want to find the side opposite the 90, I'm going to put an x, and I'm going to cross multiply. So I get x radical 3 equals 10, divide by radical 3, and rationalize. So this would be 10 radical 3 over 3. Now I can do it again. 1 radical 3, 2. I was given the side opposite the 60, but now I want to find the side opposite the 30. So this is going to be x radical 3 equals 5. Doing the same thing will give me x equals 5 radical 3 over 3. So the side opposite the 30 is 5 radical 3 over 3. Now, if this is the hypotenuse, I know that the 30 is 1/2 of the 90. So I really could have just taken this 10 radical 3 over 3 and divided by 2 to get back to the 30, or I can do all the math. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. The last thing I want you to consider is if these hypotenuses are 1. In the unit circle, you know that I've been referring to these as hypotenuse in class, as hypotenuse of radius. Unit circle has a radius of 1, and the unit circle is just comprised of special right triangles going around in a circle. So I just want to work backwards and find the sides. So this is 1, 1, radical 2. I have the side opposite the 90. I need to find this side. So if I solve this, I get x radical 2 equals 1. And if I divide by radical 2 and rationalize, I will get x equals radical 2 over 2. So this side is going to be radical 2 over 2, and this side is going to be radical 2 over 2. Same thing here. I have 1 root 3, 2. I have the hypotenuse. I know if I try to find this, the side opposite the 30 is half of the hypotenuse, so this is going to be 1/2. And the side opposite the 60, so let's just work this out. So I'm going to work this one out. This one was easy. I'm going to cross multiply, and I get 2x equals radical 3. Divide. Radical 3 over 2. That would be the end, and if this voice is off, I would love it if Kaylin could again put the link on that will catch it up while I wait for an email from Explain Everything. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not really sure what happened in the update.